Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video, the 56th episode of the SNA podcast. And this is the Monday Night Raw review, part 8. Let's start off with, to start off today's video, it's gonna be on the Raw review. It was a big brawl between Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley, and Raquel Rodriguez, and then they were fighting into the stage, and they brought it into the ring. But it started off with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Like, we're throwing fists back and forth. This is where Baszler tried to go for a sleeper hold right onto Nia Jax. I was like, this is the very odd way to start off the show. Like, even though sometimes there is some brawls like this that's come unexpectedly, but this is where Nia Jax hit her right in the back, right into the turnbuckle, and I should have said it more properly, because this is where Raquel Rodriguez comes out in the ring, and she starts blowing fists right into Nia Jax, because Nia Jax injured her while doing the same for Rhea. And speaking of Rhea Ripley, this is where Rhea Ripley came in. They started fighting. It was a 4-way brawl. I was like, don't tell me this is going to be some kind of a 4-way Women's World Championship match at this Saturday's event. Or it could be next Monday on Raw. And then this is when they had the referees and securities trying to break it up. This is when they even started beating the referees, started hitting clotheslines and punches and kicks, roundhouse kicks, and Rhea Ripley hitting the riptide. And this is when she was like, come on here. Like, I'm the Women's World Champion. I'm Rhea Bloody Ripley to Nia Jax. Look like we're going to have a future feud and a future match for that Women's World Big Gold title. But yeah, this is where Rhea Ripley calls out the Judgment Day, because she has to talk, because she's not happy with neither Balor or Priest, but definitely not happy with Dom Doms, because this is where right here. Let's see right here. This is where Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio was here. Now I was wondering, like, where, and this is what had me thinking, like, where's Finn Balor? Like, usually he's here. Like, when there's like Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, like, Finn Balor would definitely be there. And even his boy JD McDonough, like, I hope he's okay. I hope he's not injured or he's not sick or let alone testing positive for the COVID-19. But wherever it is, I hope he comes back soon. It's been announced that we will have a undisputed tag team championship, but we're going to talk about that as soon as we done talking about the recast of Rhea Ripley having a meeting with. Let's see right here. This is where she started yelling at both Dom and Damian Priest, but importantly to Damian Priest, I should say, most of the yelling onto Damian Priest, because he did not help Dominic Mysterio retain his championship. I was like, and that's what Rhea said, like you're supposed to help him as champion, and if I was there, that would have happened. And I was like, Rhea, like, even if he did interfere, like Trick Williams would have probably been prepared for somebody to help him out into this at this situation. And also, like, how it could be there if he's working a live event and losing to Cody Rhodes. Well, I should say, like, well, that's true, but I'm not sure if that was the whole reason. Like, at the same time, he was in California, but in San Francisco. And at his live event house show on the same night, on Saturday night, like on the Super Show. I believe. But anyways, and this is where Damian Priest was like, but with all due respect, sorry about that for the tone time. I meant to say, but this is where Damian Priest responded, like, with all due respect, Rhea, like, you're not anything Well, he said, let's see right here. He said, with all due respect, Rhea, like you're not anything that I don't know already. That I already know. But yeah, Cody and Jay are coming after for the titles. But when push comes to shove, I will push harder on them. And this is where Rhea Ripley's like, you better be. And I'll say, yeah, there's gonna. And he's like, but as far as I'm concerned, screw Cody Rhodes right now. I was like, yeah, yeah, like easy for you to say because you're not very quite good friends with the American Nightmare. And yeah, I was like, y'all could retain those titles, but for a totally different reason. Like, I for that note. But anyway, we're gonna talk about more about that after this. Talking about recapping this. And this is where he also said, "Screw main event Jey Uso" when the fans start chanting "what" to him, like if he was like Kurt Angle back in the late '90s, early 2000s when Kurt Angle was getting very annoyed from that. And he's like screw, this is all Steve Austin's fault because Stone Cold came up with "what" chants to the fans. And he's like, this "what" chants are ruining my life. This is kind of similar to like that, but he didn't got too annoyed by it like Kurt Angle did back in the late '90s when he was the heel. But anyway, this is where Damian Priest also said, and he's like, while we're at it, like all these talks about the Judgment Day and all for the falling apart, screw that too. And then the fans are like, whoa, yeah, that's very completely, and this is completely out of the blue. Like even for someone like Damian Priest, like yeah, like even though it's maybe true, but I want to see him say it like this and will have some guts and nuts to say that. He's like, the way I see it, and he also said, well, he's like, but the way I see it, I still have my titles, but Dominic don't have no title no more. And this is where she started looking directly in Dom's corner and have a couple of words to say. Oh yeah. Also, he said he also noted that he also still have a senior Money in the Bank contract to guarantee him a title shot for either the World Championship or the Undisputed Championship. But anyway, this is where Rhea Ripley turns around and looks at Dominic's corner. This is where Dominic started looking very upset and sad that he's no longer the North American title. And then he's probably been making excuses about why he lost the title because he don't have his mommy Rhea. Like Dom, like even with or without mommy Rhea, you should still be a dominant champion in the NXT's mid card division. Like you should be like your mommy. Like I gotta hand that to Rhea because like whether if she's as Dom on the corner or not, she still shows that she could be a dominant champion if she wants to. But anyway, this is where Rhea starts speaking like, Dom, like, I'm your mommy, right? And this is where Dom's like, yeah, you're my mommy. And he's like, what's that make you, though? And that makes you, like, what did Rhea say? Like, which is like, right after he said that, it was, and what that make you? And that makes you my poppy. That's what it was. That's obvious. And he said, so tomorrow night at NXT, you have a rematch against Trick Williams. And she was like, you're welcome, by the way. I was like, I didn't know you were working in management in WWE because why you're making this official if none of the management in WWE is not making it quite of official. But it looks like we will have this match at less than 24 hours from now. It will be Trick Williams taking on Dominic Mysterio in a rematch, which has been confirmed. We're going to talk about that more after we're done recapping the segment. This is where Rhea was like, and then before she could finish off saying something else to Dom, this is where Jey Uso comes out with his music with the main event Main Uso song. This is where he comes in the ring. This is where he. And this is where Damian Priest was like, you know what, Jay? Like, you I'm really tired of you. You opening your mouth. I was like, opening your mouth, open his mouth. Like, whatever comes out of his mouth is sensical. Like, unlike you. And then this is where he said something in Spanish, which is probably some saying like I'm like something like I'm getting tired of the mess and I'm gonna end it right now or something like that, like something similar to that. I don't think he said those exact words in Spanish, but he just said something in Spanish and he started trying to come at right at him. This is where Dominic Mysterio pushes, stops him before he has a chance to try to attack and mug Jey Uso. This is where Dom's like, no, I got this right here. And this is where Damian Priest like, okay, like, here you go. Like, be my guest. And he's like, yeah. But yeah, he Dom said, like, Damian. And this is where, before he could say anything to, and this is where everybody booing, you couldn't hear exactly what he was saying. Like for me, the handle Judgment Day business. And so I'm going to take care of that business. I will. And this is where I'll take care of Jay and end this Jay problem once and for all. I was like, we didn't say the Jay problem, but I was assuming that's what he's using his version of the bloodline, saying that take care of their arch rivals, the problem of their arch rivals. And this is where it looked like we're about to have a one-on-one brawl. And this is when the fans started chanting "whoop his ass" to they also chanting Jey Uso to whoop his ass. I was like, this is definitely the goofiest wrestling of the night because like none of these fans in all of professional wrestling do not like Dominic Mysterio whatsoever. And this is where Jey Uso started whooping his ass, and then this is where JD McDonough came out of nowhere, attacking from behind. This is where they start doing a double team beatdown on poor Jey Uso. Like right after he super kicked him. That's when JD McDonough attacks him from behind. This is where they start double teaming him. This is where Cody Rhodes comes in, hitting, fighting him off, helping Jey Uso out, and this is where I believe this is where not JD McDonough, or was it JD McDonough? Yeah, or what was like? This is where they start, grabbing him down and double teaming him. This is where Cody Rhodes comes out and runs in the ring. That's right. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline, but that's right. It was JD McDonough. Yeah, he go for a clothesline. JD duck. This is where Jey Uso super kicks him. This is where he uppercuts what's his name? Dominic Mysterio. This is where Jey Uso super kicks This is where Jey Uso super kicks Dominic Mysterio. This is where Cody Rhodes grabs him from behind, hits him with the crossroads, to send both McDonough and Mysterio packing. This is where Adam Pearce was like, or before Adam Pearce came out, this is where Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso was like, come in the ring, Damian. Like, you think you can take us down and take care of us and make sure you finish the job? Like, come here and we'll do this right here, right now. This is where Adam Pearce came out. Like, how about we settle things? How about we settle things into this back and forth situation? Like Damian Priest, you and Finn Balor will defend those undisputed tag team championships against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes in a tag team match this Saturday, and in a tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship this Saturday at Fastlane. And then BWE was right about the two members of the Judgment Day, the reigning defending undisputed tag team champions, are gonna defend their titles against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, which was noted on the wrestling news of the wrestling internet, that WWE insider dude that has connections with WWE sources which he's right, which I'll give a shout out to him and give him a hand of knowing what's exactly going to happen with the upcoming not the WWE. And what do you think about these successful predictions that BWE's been doing genuinely? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. But yeah, we're gonna see the American Nightmare and Main Event Jay taking on Finn Balor and Priest for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. And who's gonna win and why? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And we're gonna move on to the next. And then here's some more news. And then up next, we talk about with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett hyping up about Jade Cargill's debut in WWE, which she recently, and they showed her being the major free agent in the market right now, and signed a multi-year deal with the company, and showing images of her training in the Performance Center. I was like, wow, they are well invested of having Jade Cargill in WWE. I'll say this is probably the biggest signing of a former AEW wrestler ever since they brought back Cody Rhodes back last year, of course. And then, yeah, like I said before, this could be, like I said before, about that, from who was it that said that on the internet? It was like a former WWE star that said that this could be a sign that they could, Jade Cargill could. They said, but whoever it was, they stated that Jade Cargill could be a sign that they could sign MJF. But like what D Morale said, he don't think that's gonna happen. Tony Khan's gonna give him a huge, large amount of a deal to the salt of the earth, so he won't someday he won't refuse. But that will be a story for another day. But yeah, that's very shocking that they were talking about Jade Cargill's debut in World Wrestling Entertainment. But yeah, we're gonna move on to it's gonna be Alpha Academy. We're gonna talk about Alpha Academy taking on the Imperium's two members of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, which they're in charge with one another, which Gunther announced last week onto in their backstage segment of Ludwig Kaiser blaming Giovanni Vinci the reason why they'd be losing. And then he was like, how about we make this better? Like, how about you be in charge of him and he'll be in charge of you and etc. But yeah, but it looks like they somewhat in the same page, even though he was getting a bit frustrated when Giovanni Vinci didn't do what he wanted him to do. But anyways, this is where they're going to start the match. To start off with Ludwig Kaiser and Chad Gable. This is where Ludwig Kaiser tried to Irish whip them right to the corner. This is where Chad Gable counters. This is where he lifts him up into a flip away toss. This is where Kaiser hits a great sunset flip, but he flipped over. Chad Gable flipped over. He grabs his leg, go for an ankle lock, squeeze in, got it tight and locked in. This is where Ludwig Kaiser no, I will never surrender. This is where he swept out of it. He kicks him kicks on right to the bottom right corner where Giovanni Vinci was. He hits him with a striking forearm. This is where Kaiser tried to go for a clothesline. This is where Chad Gable go for a very struggling German suplex I've ever seen from a professional wrestler. This is where he tried to crawl right to Otis, which he does get the tag. This is where Ludwig Kaiser was getting pissed off because he saw Giovanni Vinci on the floor, and I bet he's gonna be blaming him some more. But then again, he didn't really blame him much like he did last week, like 7 days ago. But it didn't really matter because he tagged in Otis. This is where he's like, come here, turn around. This is where he tried to clothesline Otis. This is where Otis rams right into it, like feeling nothing in the process. This is where he runs right on the other side, run back. This is where he runs up and hits another, and then he tried to close on him. He ducks. He did a very a very perfect roll. Like, I bet he learned that from Chad Gable and hit a discus clothesline that nobody wouldn't expect that was coming. Not even Samoa Joe himself. This is where Otis was like, and he hits a back elbow. Looked like the Judas effect, like I always keep calling it. This is where Otis goes for exploder suplex right into Ludwig Kaiser. This is where he hits him with a splash. This is where he goes for the caterpillar. This is where he rips off his Alpha Academy shirt. This is where Maxine Dupree liked this. She was like, "Yeah, let's go, baby. Like, yeah, do this." I was like, "Yeah, they definitely replacing Mandy Rose. And they are definitely replacing Mandy Rose with Maxine Dupree with Otis having the new peach in WWE." And this is where Otis have him right onto the top, put him on the top rope. This is where he tried to go for a fallaway slam, but Giovanni Vinci came in, saved the day. And then I hope this convinced Ludwig Kaiser to change his mind about him always being at fault. And this is where Chad Gable. But this is where right after he did that, Chad Gable went right off the apron, hit him with a somersaulting rolling, spinning senton right off the hardest part of the ring, right into the ringside area. This is where Ludwig Kaiser hits a running insta-gear right onto Otis's face. This is where he tried to go for a pinfall. This is where the referee hit 1. The referee hits 2 and a 3. And then this is where Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci finally gets a win, which I don't know when the last time they ever had a win, but this was one of their rare victories for the two minions of Gunther to ever get a win all by himself. And this is where Chad Gable tried to chase after him, but this must have been some kind of a miracle for the two Imperium members because, like I said, I didn't know when the last time they ever won a tag team match. But I think this is pretty good. I think they're going to be in more programming as of tonight's Raw because according to in the main event into a main event match, like they're going to be more in the programming on Monday Night Raw in the next upcoming weeks. Like, and for those who haven't watched tonight's Monday Night Raw, like. What do you think? What do you think of what exactly I'm talking about? Like, y'all are gonna have to watch it to the very end. What I'm talking about? And what do you think about this win? Is it gonna elevate them and get their push as a tag team, or do you think that they're just getting a rare victory so they can keep up their momentum as a rare threat into the tag division? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next. Here's where we saw a recap of Becky Lynch taking on Tiffany Stratton, which was the best match of the night next to the NXT Women's Championship and the North American Championship, which those are my 3 favorites out of the NXT pay-per-view. But yeah, they showed them like hitting each other's with Barbie dolls and steel chairs, fire extinguishers, barbed wire baseball bats, grocery carts. Until Becky Lynch hit the manhandle slam right to those piles of chairs for the win. And then this is where we go to an announcement of Becky Lynch suffering. They needed 11 stitches, which I was so close. I said a dozen stitches, but I was like one less of a stitch. I was a stitch ahead of me, which it was one less than what I just said. But it said she gave respect to the man, and also she had to get 12 stitches on her arm and I think she kind of sustained an injury. This is where we got a backstage conversation with Adam Pearce and Tegan Knox, which they were talking about. Tegan Knox cannot fight. Again, this is where Adam Pearce was like, unfortunately, we got to postpone that championship due to Becky Lynch's injury, that she sustained at 2 nights ago. Two nights ago, when she faced Tiffany Stratton in that Extreme Rules match, No Mercy, obviously. But yeah, it was so bad to the point she had to postpone it for another week to to have this championship match with Tegan Knox, which that's very unfortunate. Like, I don't think the championship is cursed. Like, it's just that it's not really good luck for Tegan Knox, unfortunately. And I hope she gets the opportunity that she deserves, like in the upcoming weeks, like at least in the middle of October, so or like whether if it be in the NXT or Raw, like or like middle October or the end of October when Becky Lynch recovers, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon, but it could be. She could be back between towards the middle or the end of October. Let's hope so. Just keep those fingers crossed. But anyways, this is where Chelsea Green comes in, rudely interrupts like she usually do. And he was like, she heard the sad news about Becky. Now look at her complaining now. I was like, Chelsea, first of all, it's not polite to be interrupting somebody's conversation. And second of all, it doesn't seem like she's complaining. She's just saying, darn it, like, what's that? Like, she just feeling despaired. Like, she's being very depressed into the situation about not getting her title match. Like, this is her first ever singles title match opportunity for the NXT Women's Championship. And yeah, it may be the beginner's championship, but still, it could help elevate her for being the star that she was supposed to be from the past few years. But yeah, this is where Tegan Knox had enough of and then this is where she starts saying this is where Chelsea. But before Tegan Knox said anything just yet, this is where Chelsea Green went hypocritical mode and said, like, the audacity of people complaining, and I just cannot complain. What you need to step it up. And if I was you, I'll be happy that it's postponed. In fact. And you do, like, if I was you, like, I'll be happy about that because so you won't embarrass yourself and lose to Becky Lynch because, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, like, you don't have a chance. And he's like, but yeah, don't get me wrong, like, you're good, but you're but you're not. Some people just are not championship material. And then this is when Chelsea Green was like, yeah, back to that great idea. And then this is where Tegan Knox like, I have an idea actually in mind. Like, since now that my match has been postponed with Becky Lynch, how about you put me in a match against this woman right here? And then this is where Adam Pearce was enthusiastically. This is where Adam Pearce enthusiastically agreed into Tegan Knox's idea, like saying, like, that's a really great idea, like, and it's official, like you Tegan Knox taking on Chelsea Green. And this is where Chelsea Green was like, what? Like, you cannot do this. You cannot humiliate me like Dumo. And also, she's like, yeah, and we could show, and this is where Tegan Knox also said, we could also show that who really is championship material. Like, yeah, that's a great idea because I'll say, let's be honest, it looks like Tegan Knox could be more championship material. I'll say at least singles championship material, considering for the fact that Chelsea Green is one half of the women's tag team championships. With all due respect, but. And this is where Chelsea Green was like, you can't do this. Like, yeah, like, this, you can't humiliate me more than you already been doing for the past months. Like, I'm going to talk to the higher management. And she waved her hair right into Chelsea Green's face, which even before watching this match, that feeling in my system said, like, something tells me that she's going to regret that, like, clearly, for rudely putting her hair right into Tegan Knox's face. And then this is where Adam Pearce asked Tegan Knox, like, what in the world is wrong with that woman? And this is where but up next we got Bronson Reed taking on Cedric Alexander. This was a complete squash match, but I don't say entirely complete, but I would say this was a total squash match, even though Cedric Alexander This is we got some big Bronson Reed match against Cedric Alexander, and ever since and this is like this is like a month. I mean, not a month, a week and a half after his tag partner Shelton Benjamin got released from right after the merger of UFC and WWE of TKO Group Holdings. But anyways. But yeah, and after this match, it shows that it's not it's only just a matter of time when what's his name, the former NXT Cruiserweight champion Cedric Alexander gets handed the pink slip. And not because I wanted him to get released, it's for the fact that they don't have no creative ideas for the guy at this time, at least. But I hope that soon we change as soon as they actually give this guy a chance and have him fight more and be more appreciated and give him a push. Give him a push. Like, you don't have to put the championship on him, but at least give him something to do while he's still on the WWE roster. But anyways, this is where. But Cedric Alexander got a couple of blows in, running forearms, hitting left and right hands into the bottom right corner where Bronson Reed was leaning at. This is where Bronson Reed counters more blows he was trying to hit onto the former NXT North American champion. He hits Alexander with the most devastating headbutt I've ever seen in the squash match. This is where Bronson Reed hits a running splash, but he landed face first right into the teen of the turnbuckle. This is where Cedric Alexander goes for a middle missile dropkick right onto the mid rope. This is where he made him land on the left side of the ringside area. This is where Cedric Alexander hits a sliding kick soon after he lands on the outside. This is where Cedric Alexander runs on the other side of the ropes. This is where he hits him with a lower rope suicide dive, and this is where Cedric Alexander runs back in there, and this is where he hits a running senton right to knock down Big Bronson Reed. And unfortunately, this didn't last for long because Big Bronson Reed managed to get back up when Cedric Alexander tried to go for a not missile dropkick, a springboard crossbody, but Bronson Reed hits him with a clothesline, looking like a Mack truck just ran him over, or no. Also, that subway train looked like a subway train just whacked him and just murked him. This is where Big Bronson Reed try to let's see right here. This is where Big Bronson Reed lifts him up, and let's see right. Is he right? Got it right? No, he tried Irish whipped him. That's what it was. He Irish whipped him. He tried to close on. He ducks, but Cedric Alexander hit my signature move, which is the springboard step up instigiri, which no one never heard about my signature move before. But this is where he hits the springboard step up instigiri right, or Pele kick right into the head of Big Bronson Reed. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he only got a 1 and a 2 point even count. This is where. And then this is where Cedric Alexander tried to hit another running maneuver. This is where Big Bronson Reed tried to go clothesline. He ducks, Cedric Alexander duck, and this is where he knew he reap falls, but he's like, what the heck? He just hit a crossbody and a running senton right onto the poor ribs of Cedric Alexander. This is where Big Bronson Reed drags him right to the top right corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. That's when he started climbing right on the top rope. This is where he finally hits him with the tsunami to put Cedric Alexander right out of his misery for the 1, 2, 3. And I was like, yeah. I hope since Shelton Benjamin's no longer into the company, let's hope this doesn't continue until that day comes for him to be next in line with the major major monthly cuts, like after WWE's merger with UFC. But luckily, it's not like when Vince McMahon was still chairman, like a couple of years ago when he did those mass releases and gave half the roster pink slips. They only gave like wrestlers that haven't been on television in months the pink slips and wish them the best on their future endeavors. But let's hope he doesn't get future endeavored himself and he actually gets the proper proper push that he needs and that he deserves, like from trying to receive it from ever since his main roster call-up back in 2019. And perhaps move him to SmackDown, like and he probably could have some great matches. Like him is like a mid-card athletic babyface. Like he could be in a feud with like a Karrion Kross, like have some kind of dream match, like not dream match, I should say, some kind of a entertaining feud, like an entertaining match and feud with the former NXT champion, like, and make him look legit, like if he's ready to become a mid-card champion in the near future. Just give him about a year and he'll probably be either the IC or US title. But what you thought about this match, and did you think this is elevating Big Bronson Reed into at least a mid-card championship run, like as soon as like a babyface champion, someone like a Chad Gable or Tommaso Ciampa, get an IC title victory over Gunther and end his reign? Like, y'all let me know down below. But anyways, we're gonna move on to this is where we got a recap of the Miz TV segment with Drew McIntyre and the interruptions of the New Day, and Drew McIntyre fighting Kofi Kingston, beating him thanks to the distractions of Ivar. And then this is where they showed him walked out of there. This is where Adam Pearce was on the phone with somebody. I don't know who it could be. But as soon as he got off the phone, this is where Drew McIntyre came into the backstage area where Adam Pearce was at. And this is where Drew McIntyre was like, I'm not. What he said, like he got to the point, like stating, he's like, I'm not gonna be on Miss TV tonight. I know last week I want the fans deserve it, but I'm definitely not gonna do it tonight. And this is where Adam Pearce is like, well, you did it. Miz requested whether you gonna give it open for you to speak for it. And he's like, Mr. request, and I'm gonna say absolutely quiet. Now he's like, and he was like, I got some business to discuss out in the ring myself, so I don't need the Miz, and I don't need to be on to the Miz's his TV segment. Just I just want to say what's on my mind on my own. And also, if the Miz come in my and if the Miz tried to interrupt and try to interfere, or try to have anything to do with my segment, he's gonna be regretting it. And this is where Adam Pearce is like, cool, like yeah, because even Adam Pearce is not a fan of the Miz because he's a huge mocker. Because the Miz is a huge mockery, claiming that he got massive. You get the point, like on his shirt, but he obviously stole it from Adam Pearce, like what the Great One said. Shout out to you, Great One, and I agree. And I bet Adam Pearce has watched the Great One's video. Hope he's watching Super Ninja Austin's SNA podcast video, which is yours truly right here. But yeah, and then like this video, maybe you can grow to the moon, guys. Like just like the Great One, just like the Great One said. Like, but anyways, back to the point. This is where Adam Pearce was like, yeah, I will gladly let the Miz know that. And he's like, okay, cool. And then this is where he's like, Drew, one more thing. Like, look, I'm not trying to overstep with right. And then Drew Mac's like, okay. And you seem a little off. Like, you're going down on me too about the Jay thing and the New Day thing, not doing the right thing. Like, I don't recall anything doing the right thing. But the bloodline never did to Drew McIntyre from the last couple of years. I was like, he makes a good point, but Jey Uso now is a totally different story from then. Like, yeah, that was a year ago, a few months ago. But Jey Uso has definitely changed. But this is a sign that Drew McIntyre could possibly turn heel and possibly be in feuds with the likes of Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes and even Seth freaking Rollins himself. And this could be a dream match for over the WWE World Champion, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Something that they didn't do or didn't successfully capitalize back in 2019 when Rollins was the Universal Champion. This is where Up next up, we got. This is where we got a backstage. I mean, not backstage. We got an in-ring contract signing segment, which they had exchange of words like about over for the IC title, which Tomas. And this is where Adam Pearce is like, okay, y'all, okay, gentlemen, like y'all need to just sign this contracts respectively, and then and we're gonna make this match official. And then, and this is where Tommaso Ciampa, before he signed the contract, this is where he had a few words to say to the ring general. This is where, or not, yeah, before, because he was, yeah, that's right, yeah, he was like, you know what, Gunther, like, hey, like I'm talking to you here, like, yeah, you. And this is what Tommaso, like, well, what you're setting up to do is you. And that's in my own imagination. Like, every time I wake up for the fight for that championship, like, it's gonna take very different. The sun's gonna shine a little bit different. And there's only gonna be 2 people in this entire world we're gonna matter. And then I'm one of those guys. Like, you know what the difference between you and me? Like, ever since you've been come to the WWE main roster, even WWE in general, you've been served 5-course meals. I'm bad at this tongue-tied, but anyways, I mean, I'm horrible when it comes to tongue-tied. But anyways, he was like, you've been served 5-course meals, opportunities, and after opportunity, that doesn't happen with me. When guys like me, we serve roadkill and we turn it into fillets. I was like, what's up with these food analogies and like with these dead animals and food analogies? Like when it comes to being served opportunities and hardly have a dead opportunity turn into some opportunity that's a blessing in disguise. But anyways. And then we're expected to turn it to, but yeah, and we did that enough time, and then we get an opportunity. But I don't need 100 chances. But look, and this is when Gunther looked away on the side. This is where Tommaso Ciampa was like, "Look at me while I'm talking to you, Gunther. Like I am talking directly to you." And he's like, I'm hearing you speak. Like, come on, continue. That's what Gunther said. Like, with him, without him here, without any of the fans listening, or now I don't know exactly what he's saying. But anyway, this is where Tommaso Ciampa was like, next week when my music hits, I walk out that curtain on Monday Night Raw, and I fight for that IC championship and the title. I've been dreaming about having that title since I was 5 years old, and I was like, wow. Like, I've been dreaming of having that title since I was 6 years old. Like, even though this was probably like, I would say, even though he was probably like 5 years old and back in, I'll say like 1980. Yeah, basically. 1980? No, it's in 1980. No, 1985. 1985? Yeah. Not 1985. Yeah, it is 1985. No, 1990. 1990, no. Either way, yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below. Like, dang, like that was like when like the Ultimate Warrior was the champion. Like, anywho, yeah, that was like Ultimate Warrior when he was the champion. Like almost near when he beat Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. But yeah, he stated like he's been wanting to be that championship ever since he was 5 years old. And now I will have my family sitting right in front row, right in the ringside, to watch me make history. And he's like no mistakes about next week. I fight for me, not for mom and dad, not for my brother and sister, not for my wife, not even for my baby girl Willow Dot. And no. He's like, next week when that bell rings, I fight for that 5-year-old boy who's dreaming about this very moment at this entire life, at wrestle in the center of this ring with my entire life. And he's at the end of the night, like, I will be the new Intercontinental Champion. That's where he signs the contract. and then this is where Gunther had some words of his own. This is where it said, like you. He's like, all right, first of all, Tommaso, this is a official contract signing, and then for the most important championship in this sport today, and you choose to show up like this. But before I get any, but yeah, or should I say, I'll save it for when I'm done talk what Gunther said. But anyway, there's not anything to know about you. He's like, but you talk about your family and your fight for fighting for the rights, like you standing up to yourself. Like, I respect that from you, Tommaso. There's no noble motives. Like, I stand here for myself. Like, you know what? And he's like, what's very important to me that's around here is this. In this Intercontinental Championship, this is what means the most to me and to being an in-ring competitor. That I am the greatest and the longest reigning Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of all of time. And that's when there's a mixed reaction with the fans, clapping and booing with the Gunther haters and the Gunther fans, which I'm not sure if I'll call myself a Gunther fan. I would say I would congratulate him because we had nobody have a long reign champion for over a year and beating the Honky Tonk Man's record. This is in this century, we have the longest reigning Intercontinental and in history of WWE from the past 60 years of the company's existence. Well, the IC title came out in 79, which that was I'll say a 44-year career in as the lineage's company's top prize. But anyway, this is where Tommaso Ciampa started clapping okay, yeah, one time. I honored that one time. He started clapping. This is where Gunther was yeah, I'm gonna give you one last time, so you see this before I beat you and continue my reign as the greatest Intercontinental Champion. And then Tommaso Ciampa's and there's no damn confidence, for someone in the world like you about to be crumbled when I take that most prized possession and I become the new IC title. I signed the damn contract so we can make this official next week. And this is where Gunther, before he even did so, this is where he puts the title right back around his arms. This is where Gunther's first of all, you do not ever interrupt me ever again. And the fans were shockingly cheering for him for saying that. And then this is when Tommaso Ciampa hilariously interrupted him again, saying interrupt you like this. So I was okay, this is the second goofiest wrestling of the night. And I hope this continues because I want some goofy wrestling to entertain myself as a wrestling fan, of course, I should say, yeah, as a pro wrestling fan. But anyway, this is where Gunther was because once I'm done with you, you can go home, hug your family, and it's real tight, and keep on dreaming because this is going to be closest you'll ever get to this great championship. I was yeah, it is a underrated, prestigious championship. I got to hand it to him, but at the same time, I just can't say that he's going to hold that title for long. It's going to be at a big event, at a pay-per-view or some kind of a special episode of Raw. We got someone like a Ciampa or a Chad Gable. But we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk about more about who's going to win the title more into the upcoming videos, especially the news videos and my predictions. But Anyway, this is where Tommaso Ciampa's like, if you're so damn confident, you still haven't signed a contract, so there's still time because I'm still in here, you're standing here, Adam Pearce is standing here, so like I'm sure we can change. We can put in a couple words in this contract and make this official so we can get this over with and get ready for this match. Because there are TV cameras all around us in this arena, and there's thousands of people at San Jose in California that will love to see me make history tonight. So we got to wait until, you know what? We don't have to wait until next Monday. We don't have to wait till Fastlane. No. I want to make you tap out tonight. This is when the fans start chanting like, yeah, we want to see new champion here tonight with our live crowd. This is when Adam Pearce like, you want to have this match? And this is when the fans start chanting, yes. I'll say this was definitely the segment of the night, of course. But this is where, and then this is where when Gunther was like Mr. Pierce, like I think you should prove it. Like, and then this is where he signs the contract. This is where Adam Pearce is like, all right, that's official. Tonight in the main event of Raw, it's gonna be the ring general Gunther will defend his Intercontinental Championship against Tommaso Ciampa. I was like, are you for real right now? Like, so they're definitely not. They probably like at this time like they got less than 2 hours. They have less than 2 hours to get ready for the match. Like they have this planned out to be the main event and be a week early than expected to be. I'd be like, yeah, like this is gonna be great. Like, and it's a shame that's not gonna be on Fastlane, but it's probably a good treat for you San Francisco fans, whoever attended tonight's Monday Night Raw, to see it live in person and up close to see if Tommaso Ciampa can really dethrone the ring general. And who do you think? And for those who haven't watched Raw, who do you think was planning to win tonight's match and walk out of San Jose, California? That's in San Francisco. My apologies, San Jose, California. San Jose, California is the IC championship. Y'all let me know down in the comments down below. But and man, like. And I'm gonna give you a clue. Like, we're gonna have a big surprise at the end of the match, after, which is obviously post match. Like, but I'm gonna talk about that more at the end of this video. But anyways, but I'll say, even though they have been having that championship being on the line with Gunther defending that title at like pay-per-views such as Money in the Bank against Riddle and then Drew McIntyre SummerSlam, it's finally getting utilized on pay-per-views from this past year, But I think it should put the championship on pay-per-views on the line oftenly, like, which I hope at Crown Jewel or wherever the next pay-per-view will be, that particular championship be on the line on a premium live event. But let's move on to the next. Let's move on to this with the Judgment Day up next, like with the segment with Damian Priest getting very frustrated about Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. This is where, like, what is he thinking? And he's like, can you stop one? And he's like, I want you to stop one and just calm down. And then this is where Damian Priest is like, what are you talking to me for? I do not want to talk to you. And also, you're not a part of the member of the Judgment Day. You may be Finn Balor's friend, and you may be redesign, have a better design of my briefcase, but you'll never be a part of us. And this is where Rhea Ripley's like, yo, like, settle down. And then this is where Rhea Ripley was like, he may be onto something, so you should go along what he has in store for us. Yeah. And then this, you might as well listen and you see what he has. We don't want Cody or Jay to win. Kevin, Sammy are on the same page, so he could take us down. He's like, for Cammy to get the chance, you want Cammy and the same get the championship? Cammy already doesn't like Jay. And then it's they're going for the tag titles at Fastlane. So we gotta be focusing on that. I was like, yeah, JD might have a point. He might be onto something. Like if you keep them keep Owens and Zayn from being on the same page with the American Nightmare and Jey Uso, because for the fact that Kevin Owens does not trust Jey Uso one bit because of his bad blood with the bloodline, just like Drew McIntyre. And I'll say, even though he has changed, he still haven't trust in this. Like if you keep, and JD McDonough's trying to tell him that you should make sure they don't be on the same page, and then now even split up Zayn and Owens in the process. But I hope none of that happens because I do not want to see Kevin Owens get ready to turn back into the dark side. It's already bad enough that Drew McIntyre is on his way to that point, but yeah, we're going to figure all that out probably anytime after Fastlane. So there's plenty of time, more WWE shows to go around afterwards. But yeah, but back to the segments. But this is where Rhea Ripley's like, this could be the wedge that could divide them. And then this is where JD was like, first we divide and then we conquer. And that's what makes us stronger. And that's what makes me and y'all stronger is the Judgment Day. And this is where Rhea's like, that's all you got? Like, and this is when Damian Priest's like, guess what? All right, I understand now. And then this is where they start doing the nod at one of this. And this is where JD McDonough nodded to Rhea Ripley, and she nodded right back. I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, it has some kind of a plan to try to conquer the American Nightmare main event Jay by using something that's their weakness to use against them to wipe them out. Like, we're gonna find out in the upcoming days, like in Fastlane and the next coming weeks of Monday Night Raw. We'll just have to keep watching and stay tuned in the meantime. But up next we got Xavier Woods, or was it Kofi Kingston? I think it was Xavier Woods. It was Xavier Woods taking on Ivar, and then this is where Kofi Kingston inappropriately started wiggling his hips and his front pelvic. I should say, yeah, his front of his pelvic area right into Wade Barrett's face. Like, yeah, like he may have been a jerk in the past. That doesn't mean that's right now. Like that kind of does make you sound like a hypocrite. Like saying like you think that no one haven't changed when they really have changed. Like, with all due respect for the New Day member, of course, but this is where you have the match right here. Let's see right here. But yeah, this wasn't really a match for long. Even though Xavier Woods hit super kicks and kicks Ivar right into the head, this is where he forearms him. This is where Xavier Woods goes for a shock. He shockingly lifted up for 1 second. He lifted up Ivar into a fireman's carry until his back gave out. This is where Xavier Woods tried to go to a fireman's carry. I was like, this is where he finally successfully got it, even though it took him a couple of squats just to get him up in the shoulders. I was like, wow, like, did Xavier Woods lift up Ivar, and he weighs way over 200 pounds. Or not 300 pounds, my apologies. He weighs way over 300 pounds, and he just lifted him up right off like 5 feet in the air. Like, how did Xavier Woods do? This is where he got them on. This is where Xavier starts screaming and going cheerleading mode right onto his teammate. This is where he hits a phantom driver right on to the middle of the canvas. This is where they thought this was it. This is where Xavier Woods go for a pin for a 1 and a 2. But Ivar impressively kicked out right at 2.99999. This is where Wade Barrett's like, I must admit, like, Xavier Woods is starting to be the new Big E. And then this is where Kofi was telling him, like, see what I've been telling you about, like, he's nothing to play with. I was like, I agree. Like, Xavier Woods, and this is where Kofi's like, don't doubt this man. I was like, I would agree. Like, he may be a little guy, but he has the strength. he got the strength of a 300-pounder, just like his teammate, the former WWE champion Big E, and then more well wishes to him. And I hopefully he can have like a speedy recovery, even though this is a long recovery for an in-ring return from the former WWE champion Big E himself. Like, because they said he's still recovering from his neck, and then months ago he already been off his neck brace, and he's like probably since the end of last year, like been a whole year, and they've been waiting for his return so he can start competing in the ring again, just like Randy Orton. I hope the well wishes to those two guys. But anyway, this is where Xavier Woods goes to the. This is where he tried to keep Ivar right into the corner, like right near the top rope. But it was too late to do anything. It's where he tries to grapple Ivar. This is where Ivar catches him right into a carrying position, like if he's going for a backbreaker or a fallaway slam or a power slam. But he hit him with a side backbreaker and hit him with a body slam. This is where Ivar started stumbling and limping right onto the top right corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where he started climbing right onto the middle ropes. This is where he tried to go for a moonsault. This is where, before he got a chance to do anything, this is where Xavier Woods hits the axe handle right onto Ivar. This is where he hits him with a step up Mr. Gary. This is where Xavier Woods grabs him around between his legs and lifts him up right onto his head. And this is where he tried to attempt to do a buckle bomb on a 330-pounder Ivar. This is where Xavier Woods got him right off. He nearly got him right into the powerbomb position, but Ivar hanged on to the ropes and landed on him chest first, right into a leg drop a leg drop majig. This is where Ivar got back into the game. This is where Kofi was frustratingly embarrassed, like with his head up like this. This is where Ivar goes right up on the top rope. This is where he hits a diving splash right onto Xavier Woods. And this is where Kofi's like, move Woods. And this is exactly what Woods did. He spinned around. This is where Xavier Woods hits a sliding roll up. This is where, which is the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. Shout out to the Simon and referring to Xavier Woods. This is his finishing move. This is where referee pins the 1 and a 2, and then he kicks out right at 2.99999. This is where they both get back up. This is where Ivar rushingly knees him right to the stomach. This is where he tried to pick him up right into a power bomb. This is where Xavier Woods flips out of it. He hits the small package, which that's also the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, which is called the Woods package, which is possibly his finishing move. This is where the referee hits 1, the referee hits 2, and then the referee hits 3. And I was like, you seriously got the small package? Like, wow, like that's very shocking. Like that's something I thought I would never see him facing the Viking Raiders. And then this is where Kofi started yelling. At Wade Barrett's ear. He's like, okay, like you didn't have to brag on it that much. This is where Kofi's like, see what I tell you? What did I tell you? And this is where Ivar comes in and attacks Woods right from behind, like a sore loser heel that he is. This is where he started hitting him with the right hand. This is where Kofi Kingston This is where Ivar tried to attack Kofi. This is where he hits him with a step up Instagiri. This is where Ivar was very in a dizzy state. This is where Kofi hits a diving axe handle or a clothesline right off the top rope. This is where Kofi was very hyped about. This is where Kofi Kingston tried to run up, probably trying to go for a Trouble in Paradise. Like, even if he tried to execute it, it would still been too late. But he got hit with a most dominating roundhouse kick I have ever seen from a 300-pounder. This is where he did the same thing to Xavier Woods. This is where he started wiping his face off. This is where the fans started booing, like what the fans do when to a most monstrous heel. This is where Ivar grab Kofi Kingston right onto his dreadlocks. He hits a double underhook tiger driver right on to Kofi, right through his tag partner Woods. And that's how this post-match beatdown ended. And what do y'all thought? What do you think about the Viking Raiders in this short programming with the Viking Raiders? Well, at least in this 2-on-1 program with Kofi and Woods against Ivar. Y'all let me know down below. But anyways, let's move on to the next slide. But before I go, this is where he hits a moonsault on both Woods and Kofi, like where Kofi stacked on top of Woods, of course. But yeah, this is where we got some vignettes with Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth freaking Rollins, on which they're on their way of headlining what's it called? Headlining Fastlane. I'm saying like he's gonna destroy his back, and he's gonna put him out of his misery and become world heavyweight champion. Where Seth Rollins was like, if he wants to play this crazy game, I'll play this crazy game, and there's no going back when I face. They showed him when he's talking to his back when these brawls from the past few weeks, and every time he tries to fight him in a brawl, this is where it gets worse. Guaranteed, it gets worse in a guaranteed manner because he flips him over like when he tried to pedigree him, and he landed right into the canvas. Even though it's not hard as like the concrete floor or anywhere else, like it's still bad for your back, like to get hit with any slamming manner, and then he hit his back right into rid of the ring post and the LED board and threw Al on the announce table with a back suplex and even the hardest part of the ring itself, the ring apron. But this is where we got a backstage. This is where we got a backstage interview with Seth freaking Rollins. Let's see right. This is where Seth freaking Rollins comes out of the ring and make his presence known into this interview with Michael Cole, I believe. Let's see right here. Saying, this is when Michael Cole asked him questions. I got the pleasure and honor to call the most of the matches in your career. I know you for a very long time, for years, and I helped come up with those great nicknames: Architect, Visionary, and the Manipulator, Puppeteer at times. But it seems like this time around, you're actually the puppet. And this is when the fans start chanting like, "Oh, yeah, this is the most savaging statement I have ever heard from, or the most savaging comment that I ever heard from Michael Cole in my life. Even for him saying what's in his mind from the past 20 years, I have never thought I would hear him say something like this, and to say something like this in my life. Like, even though he's like the next JR into the WWE and in the wrestling business overall, but I would not hear. I guess I'll say this is very unusually, surprisingly, like even for Michael Cole himself. This is where Seth Rollins is like, whoa, like Michael, like come on, man, you're that great introduction. This is how you're gonna treat me? Are you back? We know each other back on the way. And besides, what show you been watching, man? I've been asking Shinsuke Nakamura for a rematch for weeks and weeks, and finally he gave it to me, baby. And this is where Michael's like, seriously, Seth, like what you're doing here, that's not you. Like what you accomplished every single in your career in WWE. You're a featherweight bout of a Hall of Famer. I get it. You've never been in a last man standing match, but you understand what's going to happen at this Saturday. This is one of the most brutal matches in the history of WWE. Everything can be used as a weapon, and it's only one rule: That rule is you must beat your opponent down so badly to the ground that he cannot get back up by the count of 10. And then that could be you. Now, listen, that your back is hanging by a thread. And then you could be days away from your career ending with a livelihood of going away. I'm asking you, why in the hell you're pushing yourself through this? And this is what Seth freaking Rollins was like. I was thinking like, man, well, why am I doing this for? This is when the fans start chanting like, whoa, whoa. But anyway, it's like, yeah, like that's a good question. What am I really doing this for? Except for going like, I don't really know how to put this in the words. Man, I don't. But let me ask you this question real quick. How many years have you been sitting in a commentary desk, Michael Cole? Like, and he's like 26, like which was in 1997, by the way. And he said he wants to make it until for like another 4 years when it's like 2027, like for a whole 3 decades of being in commentary desk, like the same, like be something similar with the Undertaker having an in-ring career into the squared circle for 30 himself. This is where Seth was like, I'm 26 years in commentary. He's like take a shout out to that. Like, and this is where the fans start chanting like, yay. And he's like, how many shows have you missed? And then this is where Michael Cole's like, 2, only 2. And this is where Seth was like, now you only missed 2 shows in 26 years when you're scheduled in. And then the fans like, and they start giving an honorable round of applause for the legendary commentator. I was like, yeah, he's been a commentator ever since when Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler was commentators. And even Taz, when he became commentator, when he retired in WWE. Like, but yeah, this was Seth Rollins like, yeah, you get it, man. You're addicted to this. Like, it's the compulsion. You need it. And most importantly, you love it. That's what's like what it means in this ring, Michael. Like, it's like for me to be in front of these people, entertaining. When they sing my song, I need that. I love that. And that's my boost of motivation. I have the honor and I have the responsibility. I have the duty. He said, for me, man, like it's giving me everything. And then it put a roof over my head. It puts food on my table. It's how I met my wife. And the reason why I have a beautiful baby girl now. And this is when fans are cheering. Like, yeah, I was like, congratulations, by the way, Seth. If you haven't heard me congratulate you before. Well, by the time when y'all very first had the child, it was way before I started doing these SNA podcast video because I've only been doing this for like a month, like almost 2 months now. But anyways, this is where Rollins was like, all that responsibility, man, and that improvised. He's like, now you can be bigger example, right? And now you have to be the change. And if that's responsibility, and that takes me all the way to Fastlane, and then this is my last ride, my back is out, and I can't do it anymore, then so be it. Like, that doesn't matter that much because what matters is that I left it all in the ring. And that's when fans start praising Seth Rollins for that honest statement that he was making of his passion into the world of professional wrestling and being in the squared circle genuinely. And then this is where Seth Rollins is like, this is my responsibility. I'll be an honorable man, then I'll be an example for my daughter of even in the most difficult situations, you can overcome that obstacle. And he's like, so you want a reason why, Michael? Well, that's the best thing I got, man. It's not words. It's not It's just the feeling that I have inside of me right now. Now, and I'll tell you what. That feels absolutely right. I was like, yeah, like I know that's right. Like that shows you that you have a chance of beating Nakamura. And this is when Shinsuke Nakamura was like, Sevron, I am tired of listening to your nonsense. And then he also said, he's like, no one believes you anymore. Which he was on the Titantron, which we thought was. And this is when Shinsuke Nakamura was like, did I plan this is perfect? Or did you? Like, this is your back injured just a lie to get a sympathy? And this is where he also says, he's like, you say nothing will keep you down, and you want the world to feel sorry for you. And this was everyone starts shaking his head like, really? And this is where Shinsuke Nakamura also stated, you want or no, I said that. Let's see. Something happened. I forget. He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, and this is where Shinsuke Nakamura comes from. But I was like, I thought that's him live in front of a camera, but no, that was just a pre-taped video of a message to the visionary, revolutionary world heavyweight champion, because he came right from behind. This is where Shinsuke Nakamura comes from behind. This is where he hits the King Chaza. King Chaza right into the back of the head of Seth freaking Rollins. Unfortunately for the guy, this is where Shinsuke Nakamura started counting, and this is where when he brought him down. This is where he started counting to 1 to 10, but this is where he got back up when he was on the count of 7 when Seth Rollins got back up. This is where Shinsuke Nakamura came from outside and hit him with the steel chair, the top side part right into the midsection. And then he whammed it right into his back, which is a horrible spot to do it because he has a very injured back. And then this is where he hits him with the King Chaza. This is where he hits him, whack on the back repeatedly. That's what he is. He whack him with the chair right to his back, which is his weaking point, I should say, if that's a word. This is where he repeatedly do it over a dozen times. This is where he started counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, like 9. And this is where Shinsuke Nakamura hit him right into his lower lumbar with lumbar side of his back. I was like, do you really have to go this far and be so cruel, Shinsuke? Like, why would you do that? You got a drink on that, buddy, and you got lettuce. But anyway, this is where he stopped. I was like, really? Like, why don't you save it until the pay-per-view? Like, but I'm not sure if I'm not sure if his back injury is like really legitimately bad, but or just like kind of a minor thing. Hopefully it's not a career-ending injury. Like even if he fights Shinsuke Nakamura for with his world heavyweight title on the line and in this last man standing match, and who do you think is going to win? Do you think that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to finally get his wish of becoming world heavyweight champion by destroying him and destroying Rollins in his back? Or do you think Seth freaking Rollins is going to end Shinsuke Nakamura shenanigans once and for all and retaining his world heavyweight champion and putting Nakamura in his place? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Let's move on to the next. But anyway, and he hold on to the championship. This is where they hype up the last man standing match. Is going to be at Fastlane this Saturday. Make sure y'all check that out exclusively on Peacock, by the way. And I will be doing a recap, which will be the SNA podcast, which that's like a long way because I have some other wrestling wrestling reports and wrestling news reports and show reviews before that time hits. But it will be my third ever premium live event that I ever did onto the SNA podcast. But let's move on to the next match, which is Becky Lynch running into Tegan Knox, like and apologizing to her, saying, he's like, I wish this was they say their exchanges of hodges, which like, I wish I could defend this title tonight, but unfortunately, this is what's gonna. Honestly, I'm not clear to compete, and this is the reason why I have a step back. And then he's like, I have a feeling that you're gonna face the best version of me anyway. And this is where, Tegan Knox cheerfully and confidently said, obviously. And then this is where Becky Lynch is like, as soon as I'm clear enough to compete, like you better be ready to give me the fight of your life. And then this is where Tegan Knox is like, no worries. This is where Natalya comes face to face right into the big time Beck's woman. This is where she still face to face because she still hasn't forgot about when she faced her for the NXT Women's title, and she's still not over that Becky beat her, and she did not want to go back in the line after earning her keep of being the most successful women's wrestler, being as a veteran, of course, and only won the women's title on two separate occasions. But I'm not sure she would have held the NXT Women's Championship at this time. Maybe give it about like a year, if they ever brought it back to NXT, for the third time of visiting the developmental brand. But anyway, this is where he walked past. This is where she walked past Becky. This is where Natalya was like, Tegan, I'm so sorry. I feel quite awful at this championship opportunity. Like I know to feel disappointed and miss an opportunity. But what I'm trying to say is that we got on the wrong foot, and I don't know, I have a different level with respect for you after last week. I just want to say I'm absolutely proud of you, and I'm genuinely proud of you, and you're going to get that opportunity against Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship again. You're going to get it, and then you're going to nail this when you get the opportunity. And so I just want to say, get it off my chest. And I want to say, hopefully you get your opportunity you've been working for. And this is where she gets ready for her match because that's up next against Chelsea. It'll be Tegan Knox against Chelsea Green. And I'm not sure if I should have did that introduction that way, but thought I might just say with some charism. And this match didn't really took long. As soon as Tegan Knox got in the ring, she just got into a grappling game. But this is where she tried getting a grappling game. But before she even did anything, this is where we seen a pump kick right from Chelsea Green and right to Tegan Knox's face. This is where she got on the ground. This is where she started taunting and she was like, come on, Piper, high top. And this is where Piper Niven was not buying it. She was like, I'm not really friends. And I'm almost on your partner just being the champion. Quite frankly, that's not very cool when you high five. But since you got a good start, I'm just gonna give you a short high five, a short and quick to the point high five. This is where Chelsea Green tried to go for a pin. This is where Tegan Knox tried to go for the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, which is the surprise roll up. This is where we see a kick right to the midsection. This is where she tried to run right to the corner ropes. This is where she hits a spinning uppercut right onto Chelsea Green. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but Chelsea Green kick out. This is where Tegan Knox tried to go for a running Shining Wizard knee strike like she did to Natalya last week. This is where she rolled her up into a schoolgirl. This is where she hits a striking slap right right across Tegan Knox's face, making her face sting in the process. This is where Chelsea Green tried to go for her kill switch running bulldog maneuver thingamajig. This is where Tegan Knox rolled out of it. This is where she hits a right uppercut. This is where we've seen a big super kick right onto Tegan Knox. This is where she slingshot right on the other side of the ropes. And then she fell running to the outside. This is where Tegan Knox like, come on! Barking at Piper Niven and making her slave, unfortunately, which I feel bad for the former Dewdrop. But this is where the former Dewdrop, Piper Niven went right on her, make sure she don't escape her sliding dive that she was trying to pull off. This is where Tegan Knox trying to run into the ring. This is where she successfully do so. This is where she went up and tried to go for a sliding dive herself. This is where Chelsea Green falls right out, like if she literally did drop kick her. She landed right on top of Piper Niven, tried to catch her. This is where Piper Niven's like, y'all, you need to stay on target and take this seriously. Trey, they don't need to see that right now. But anyway, this is where Tegan Knox go for a rolling senton right onto Chelsea Green. This is where she started high-fiving everybody. This is where she throws Chelsea Green right back in the ring. This is where she stared at Piper Niven. She was like, I'm not going to interfere. Like, go ahead. This is where Tegan Knox go right up the top. This is where Piper Niven tried to trick. This is where she lied to Tegan Knox and tried to trick her. She tried to throw her right off the top, but the referee spotted her. She was like, stay. And this is when the referee's like, stay in the lane. Before the referee could eject her easily out of the match, this is where Natalya comes in and even the odds and help out her new formed best friend, Tegan Knox. This is where she finally went out on the ground and ran right into her side. This is where then Natalya made sure she did so. This is where Chelsea Green tried to go for her top rope. This is where Tegan Knox counters and hit a super face buster plex right off the top rope. This is where Tegan Knox go for a somersault leg drop senton right onto Chelsea Green. This is where she tried to go for. This is where she rolled out of it before she had a chance to hit her finishing move, which was the shiniest wizard right across Chelsea Green's face for the 1-2-3, and then she kept and Tegan Knox is continuing to keep up that momentum. First, she gets a big win against Natalya. Now she got another big win against Chelsea Green, which we're probably gonna see. Which hope we see more of this from the former NXT superstar. This is where we got Drew McIntyre's segment where he cuts a promo about everybody saying that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. This is where we got a backstage interview with Byron Saxton interviewing Jey Uso. Let's see right here. He's like, I thought I might come to Raw with a fresh start. You know how, like, and he's like, Cody is in it. Like, the Judgment Day put us in the same situation. Like, I'll throw hands with the Judgment Day leading tonight, and that fast lane, we beat them. And it's for the tag titles, we good. The main event, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, man, we all good. The full speed ahead, dog. Did. And this where he slides right beside Byron Saxton and left the backstage area like if he was the Hurricane. This is where we go back and see Drew McIntyre cutting the promo. This is where he getting ready to cut a promo after his long-awaited entrance with him stating of him telling them about, let's see what we're going to talk about. Which that was a big, somewhat of a mockery of the American Nightmare, with him saying that catchphrase every time he enters the ring and cuts a promo. This is where Drew McIntyre was like, everybody wanted to see, ask for an explanation what's going on with Drew, and I be changing and not the same guy, and then there's not explaining himself. Like, I don't even explain a damn thing to anybody in that locker room. The only person I had to answer to, people I answer to, are my fans. And then the fans were chanting like, "Yeah, like you are damn right that you." That's what fans were like, "Yeah, like you damn right we like that you answer only to us." And he even had my mom even listen because she's also a Drew McIntyre fan too. Like, and she's like, he reminds us of our Irish grandfather, but that's a story for another day. But this is where Drew McIntyre said like with through the ups and downs, the fans of the title, I want to show right now, and the truth is, like, I'm not. Stop being the same guy. Stop being Trey. Like, stop being the same person. Let's start with I'll be the first one. I've been doing it for years, man. Between my own business, nobody else's business, no responsibilities, and no outside doing or showing up and fighting the rest for 100%. Oh, dang it. Sorry, my apologies. I messed something up on my little recap source. Super strength of blow. Oh yeah, this where he also said, okay, now the ups and downs of the title until right here, right now. And the truth is, I'm not gonna stop being the same guy. I'm gonna stop being the interfering and fighting that I didn't even start in the first place. I'm not doing this for years, man. And be careful, Trey. You. Nobody knows this business. And then there's the outsiders. I'm showing up and fighting the less than 100%. Now I'm done with this. And he's like, I know that for the past few weeks that I've been saving the day, and Cody's been stepping up. And as much as y'all want to run y'all's mouth, and a bunch of hypocrites out there in the locker room. Now, except for Cody, like we were talking about that last week, and he only cleaned up his own mess. Like it's all to do with ego. Sometimes I feel like so the Cody verse, where I feel like I'm in the Cody verse, where it just does what he wants, says what he wants, and I don't know, man. Like here's the deal, though. Forgiveness when it comes to Jey Uso is the part of the weakness, is the strength. Is that, and another thing. And then he's like, before he could say what was the other thing, this is where we hear the awesome theme song, which is not really awesome. This is where The Miz comes out, interrupts Drew McIntyre for the second week in a row. This is where it's like I try to help you be a free spirit person on Miz TV and try to speak for you. And try to stick on your side. Like I gave you the only platform to talk about whatever you want to talk about last week, and you just sat there, said nothing, and everything. But I try to stick up to you. All you did is tell me to shut up and just headbutted me. And he's like, and you have the audacity. And then you have the audacity to say that. And this is where the Miz was all, this is where Drew McIntyre was like, shut up, Miz, for once. Like, I do not want to hear exactly what comes out of your mouth. Like, I believe anybody here don't want to hear what's in your mouth. Here you go. Here you go, Trey. I'll pull all these up when I get done with my recaps of Monday Night Raw. But anyways, this is what and the fans are cheering like, yeah. You were warned not to come out here. And it seems like you did not listen to Adam Pearce's message that I sent him for you. And if I'm like a fish while saying, you got to stand up for yourself because no one else is going to do that. And then this is where the Miz was like, I stood up for you. And then I was, and me and my mom was like, yeah, but he didn't even ask you to stand up for you. So why are you trying to stand up for him when he didn't need to? Like, that's like saying, like, that's like trying to offer some money when they didn't even ask you that they need to borrow the money in the first place. Like, but anyway, this is where the Miz was like, that I was there looking out for you. And what did you do? You told me to shut up. Just like you told me to shut up 2 seconds ago. Like, you 10,000 people chanting "Shut up, Miz" for like 2 minutes straight. And this is when the fans start doing it again, except this time in San Jose, California. They're like, "Shut up, Miz! Shut up, Miz!" I was like, man, I wish I was in that crowd. I'll be joining the "Shut Up, Miz" club right now, or "Shut Up, Miz" wagon, I should say. And they were doing this like for like a minute straight. Like, if they didn't, and if the Miz wasn't talking on the promo, they probably would have done it for like the full 10 minutes of the segment. But this is where he said, you think you're just you think you're just what he said. This is what the Miz said. Hey, yeah, you think you're just you think you're edgy, that you're taking a stand. Well, that's the case. Why won't you place who you really are? And he's like, shut up, Miz. Like I always keep telling you. And he's like, and as the fans are continuing to say, shut up, Miz, I was even saying it like right on my brother's 65. It's all like when I was watching it off of, I was like, say, shut up, Miz, shut up, Miz. Like just shut the hell up. Like, there's no point of you talking at this point. And then this is where, and then this is where he's like, you want me to be the bad guy, don't you? And you want me to go attack Seth Rollins backstage and then the bag beat him down to the ring, take the title off of him, and then maybe screw Jey Uso at Fastlane. That's all you want? Like, no, that's not how I roll. Like, I rack up the wins, I earn the opportunities, I earn the title stuff, and that's you're in the enemy, like. Now, this is like another W for me. Like, how about you and I fight, unless those balls are still tiny? Like, I was cracking up. I was like, okay, this is the third goofiest wrestling of the night because he started making some excuses that I'm in the suit. We're not in our proper ring gear. Like, I'm in my suit, you're in a skirt. Like. And then this mom was like, that's not a skirt. Like, it's obviously a kilt. And she was like, I know he's being such an a-hole right now, but dang, like, did he really have the sound very idiotic on the promo? Like, yeah, I know, right? Like, he's still like he was back like over a dozen years ago. Like, when he started I'm the Miz and I'm awesome gimmick, But anyway, I was like, yeah, and I jokingly said, like, yeah, and also who would know that's a kilt if he understood the Irish and Scottish heritage into the culture of the ethnicity of Irish. But anyways, this is where of the Irish and Scottish culture. But this is when fans start chanting like tiny balls, tiny. But this is where Drew McIntyre takes off his jacket. This is where he takes off his jacket and his kilt to get ready for the match, which they did have the match. But this is where he hit the Glasgow Kiss headbutt. This is where he tried to this is where we had the match. This is where he hits a single Glasgow kiss headbutt right onto the A-lister. This is where he tried to get ready to hit the Claymore kick. This is where he distracted the referee, making it look like he's about to swing the sword and try to decapitate the Miz's head off. This is where the referee's like, no, we can't do that. Like, first of all, it's against the rules in this match, and plus it's illegal. And this is where he puts the sword back down the ringside. This is where he pulls off the exposed turnbuckle pad. He exposed the turnbuckle pad off the turnbuckle. This is where Drew McIntyre sneakily hits him face first right into the exposed turnbuckle. This is where he hits him with the Future Shock DDT for the 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh well, like this was very entertaining, quick but entertaining. And then this is where Drew McIntyre went right into got the same microphone, I believe. This is where he's like, I had some serious thinking, and I'm not the same guy that I was 40 seconds ago. Like, I am sorry for my actions. And then now I'm saying sorry. I'm magically or automatically forgiven. I was like, good point, because that's what they did with Jey Uso, but he actually showed that he's no longer like Roman Reigns in them. And now and that's the whole reason why he's been forgiven. And it looks like this heel turn haven't happened yet, because he still started high-fiving the fans, and this is where he walks out of the arena. And what do you think? Like, when he's gonna turn heel, and when he's gonna turn heel, if he ever does? Like, y'all let me know down in the comments below. But I think this is they're continuing to tease that and planting those seeds, and then they're gonna plant that particular heel turn tree when that time comes. Like, they're gonna slowly but surely still keep planting them and start watering them, and then wait for the time when it grows up into an adult-sized tree for him to turn to a heel. And what do you think about my tree planting my metaphoric tree planting analogy into this matter? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, here's where they show the recap of the NXT North American title, which Trick Williams won. This is where Jackie Redmond interviewed the new NXT North American champion, none other than Trick Williams himself. And this is where Jackie Redmond's like, Trick, congratulations on last night at No Mercy, beating Dom. It is tomorrow you will defend this very title in a rematch to the same guy, Dirty Dom, at NXT. And this is where Trick Williams is like, that's right, Jackie, and it's a pleasure to meet you, by the way, and for the first time. And I'm introducing myself to you and the rest of the world. He's like, my name is Trick Williams, and I am 6'4", weighing in 240 pounds of muscle, and then have go to my ears, my wrists, and most importantly, around my waist. And he's like, because I am the new NXT North American Championship, baby. You believe that? And he started laughing. And he's like, tomorrow night, I'm gonna bring this time, and it gets Dirty Dom. And this is where JD and Doms and Rhea came in and to interrupting the interview, saying like, with Dirty Dom's like, hey Trick, like, what are you doing here? And then now, and this is where Trick Williams was like, wow, you're starting to be more, whoa, like Dom's like, you're so, what's that word? This is what he said. He's like, hey, Trick, you better keep your name right out of my mouth. And this is what, and he's like, oh, wow, you're not acting more cocky since you have your mommy back here on Raw. Like what's wrong with you? Like, and this is where he's like, you're just talking trash. That's what Dom was like. And then this is where Rio's like, hey, there's nothing to worry about, Dom. Like when he comes to NXT, you'll be walking out as the two-time new NXT North American champ. And she was like, "You believe that?" I was like, "I don't know." Like even though you have JD and Mommy Rhea and even Priest and all, like, but that doesn't mean that it would be a guarantee that you're gonna win. Like, how you know there's nothing up trick sleeve to remain as NXT North American Championship. I'll say the only reason why I say that they will win is if there's some kind of shenanigans going on between Trick's side of things, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna retain his championship and he's gonna hold that championship and show that he's way more than Melo's sidekick or bodyguard or main hype man or main the hype man, sidekick or bodyguard or whoever he is. Yeah. But this is where he started looking like they just don't know, which I agree. There's a reason why he's the champion, and also up next we got the main event, which is the the former NXT champion out of Tommaso Ciampa taking on the current longest reigning IC champion in history of WWE, the ring general Gunther. And here's where we have the match. And then they show in the match, you got Kofi Kingston taking on Ivar. And they announced Raquel Rodriguez will take on Nia Jax to see who's going to be the next number one contender for the Women's World Championship against the Eradicator Rhea Ripley. And also more matches. But up next, we got the Gunther versus Tommaso Ciampa right now, which Gunther having the offense because he started hitting chops that was so loud and devastating to the point that he got justice against Eddie Kingston and the rest of the AEW wrestlers that have been using the chops on their show for the past recent weeks. And I want to congratulate Gunther for that. And he started continuously. Okay, I'm gonna blow all these balloons as soon as I get done. I'm almost done doing this video. But anyway, this is where he started hitting chops more and more to show that he's the better modern day the owner of the chops, the deadliest chops in the world of professional wrestling, even for being on WWE. And this is where, and other wrestlers from WWE and AEW combined, he started getting some justice from everybody. And this is where he hits a back suplex right on the Tommaso Ciampa, right on the hardest part of the ring apron. This is where it looked like Tommaso Ciampa was done for right then and there, but he did not. He looked like he was not getting back in the match. This is where Tommaso Ciampa tried to get back into the match, but Gunther landed a big boot right into the face of the Blackhearted Ciampa. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he only got one. He only got two, but he kicked out right at the last second at 2.99. This is where Gunther had him in a sleeper hold that he usually would do, which I believe that's a signature move, by the way, which that's probably obvious for those who've been whoever's been a hardcore WWE fan or been playing them on WWE 2K23 like me. But anyways, I got all of them. Okay, just a second. Anyways, But just like me, I've watched him play on W2K23. This is where he tried to go for some. This is where he landed right here, the face first, right onto the top turnbuckle. This is where Tommaso Ciampa tried to go for the dominable crossface stretch submission hold that he had like he put on him earlier, like when they got into the brawl. Right after they signed the contracts, when he shoved him. I probably forgot to talk about that. But anyway, this is where Gunther started to scream like, no, This is where Gunther tried to roll out, but this is where he started hitting elbows and right hands, right into hammering his head and his shoulder, so he could have a full advantage right into the ring general. This is where he had it locked in, and if it hadn't been for his leg, we probably had a new IC champion. in this perspective because he was no way he's going to escape any other way without him. But if he hadn't put his foot right onto the ropes like this, he broke the plane right onto the ropes to stop the submission hold. Your credit card? Okay, we'll use this as soon as Uncle SNA gets done with this podcast review. But this is where Tommaso Ciampa. This is where Gunther grabs onto the ropes. This is where he pulls on the Ciampa. This is where he hits another knife edge chop. This is where Irish whip him right to Tina the turnbuckle, and then also. This is where he took him. He threw him right to threw Al on the announce table, similar to steel steps, brought him back in the ring. But Tommaso Ciampa came back. This is where he started hitting some left and right hand. This is where he tried to go for the exposed knee strike right into Gunther's face. But Gunther intercepted with a flying middle missile dropkick right onto in front of Tommaso Ciampa. This is where Gunther go for a pin. This is where to try to retain his his Intercontinental Championship. This is where he go for a run. The referee went 2, and then Tommaso Ciampa kicks out at 2.8 seconds. This is where Gunther was like, "What should I do to retain? Just to put away this guy? Like he is not budging." And then this is where. This is when Gunther lifts up Tommaso Ciampa. This is where he tried to go for. Yeah, I see Birdie Bird. The nice art. Yeah, that's what you call beautiful art. This is where he tried to go for a Gunther bomb, but Tommaso Ciampa countered it. Not Tommaso Ciampa. I should say I think his arm gave out because he dropped Tommaso Ciampa. He was holding on to his arm, screaming in agony because Tommaso Ciampa did. He was working on that arm and hammering it to death. But this is where, make it look like he's trying to decapitate it. This is where Tommaso Ciampa tried to run towards Gunther. This is where he counters it and try to go for a sidewalk power slam like he does to his opponents before. This is where Tommaso Ciampa counters it and he did a sleeper hold, a dragon sleeper hold right onto the head of. Right onto the Gunther. This is where he hits a Scorpion Death Drop, reverse DD2 majig onto Gunther. This is where Tommaso Ciampa finally hits his finishing exposed knee strike right onto the head of Gunther. This is where he tried to go for a pin to retain his. Try to become the new IC champion. This is where the referee hit 1. The referee counted 2, but it looked like Tommaso Ciampa was about to be new Intercontinental Champion because the referee was about to hit 3, but he kicked out right before the referee hit the mat. And then the fans were like, "What?" Like we knew, like Gunther just literally kicked out of that. Like we thought there was gonna be a new IC champion. I thought I would believe that if there still wasn't a story to finish with Chad Gable being that exact IC champion. Even though Tommaso Ciampa wanted to be that championship at the age of 5 years old, ever since we've been watching WWE, sound like someone like me, and I forgot to say, I've been trying. I was trying to be like. I always loved the Intercontinental Championship as much as I like the Spinners Championship and the big gold belt. I want to be a champion like even when like someone like Jeff Hardy or. Was it Jeff Hardy or was it Jericho or somebody or Kofi? It was like someone like one of them 3. Like Jeff Hardy, Jericho, or Kofi Kingston was that champ at 2008. And I was like, I want to be a championship just like that. And along with being the Spinners Championship like what John Cena was. Those are like my top 2 favorite when it was on the Raw era. Like when those championships was on Raw. But anyways, this is where Tommaso Ciampa couldn't believe, like, he literally kicked out. Like for a second there, I thought I had him there. This is what Ciampa was looking like. This is where Tommaso Ciampa was like, what I got to do to put away this ring general. This is where he hits him with a belly. This is where he tried to Irish whip him right to a maneuver, but he countered into a belly-to-belly suplex. It's actually red. But anyway, this is where Tommaso Ciampa kicks out at 2 from the belly-to-belly suplex. This is where Gunther's like, I thought I had him there. Belly-to-belly suplex. He hit him with, I'm afraid that he countered into a dragon suplex, into a sleeper, slamming him into the process with his ribs and knees and arms first, getting hit right into the canvas. This is where, let's see right here. This is where I see. This is where Gunther this is where he tried to go for a clothesline to hell. This is where Tommaso Ciampa dodged it and swings it away. This is where he tried to go for another one. This is where he dodged it, trying to go for that exact abdominal stretch crossface submission maneuver that I tried to put away. Gunther. This is where Gunther was like, no, like I'll never surrender. No, I will never surrender. This is where he tried to put this is where he put his leg right onto the ropes like he did the last time when he was in the ring. This is where Tommaso Ciampa hit the right hands this is where Tommaso Ciampa hit a right knife edge chop to make it louder so he can be the biggest wrestler to make Gunther envious on. This is where Gunther was. That's what it probably worked because Gunther hit a louder and a more devastating chop than Ciampa. This is where he started. This is where Tommaso Ciampa put him in the corner. This is where he started chopping him right back. He started continuing to chop like more and more and more and more because this is where Gunther started to get more angrier and angrier and more envier. This is where he started chopping more loud, started slapping right back, answering back, started slapping him right into Ciampa's chest. This is where he started doing it more and more and more. This is where Tommaso Ciampa blocked it. He hits a big kick, roundhouse kick. This is where he tried to go for a cloverleaf white noise slam right onto Gunther. This is where Gunther elbowed him. This is where he lifted him up and hit him with a Gunther bomb right onto Ciampa. This is where he slams him right into the canvas. This is where he lifts him up and try to go for another one. Which he did so. He slams him. This is where he goes for a sleeper. It looked like Tommaso Ciampa was not giving up until he had to choke him out or to make him faint. And Trey, you gotta pay attention where you throw your toys at when Uncle SNA's trying to do his podcast. But anyways, this is where he slams him right on the ground. This is where he was like, is he down? All right, and he's like, ring the bell. I was like, why didn't you do that when he put him to sleep in the first place? Or why would we wait until he slams him right to the ground? And then, yes, sir, and ma'am, and Gunther is still the Intercontinental Champion. And he's gonna stay that way probably for the next couple weeks to come until probably Chad Gable finally gets the opportunity of becoming the Intercontinental Championship, which I believe that's gonna happen, but that is yet to be seen. And then remember, like I said about there's gonna be plenty more TV time for Gunther's minions, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. This is where they start attacking him for God knows what the reason to come from this. This is where they start continuing to beat him down, start stepping on him. And guess who comes out? And guess who comes out for the save? And guess who comes out with their theme music that we haven't heard from since May, ever since they remained on Raw from the draft, and talking about having them join their group in this family's group. None other than Johnny Wrestling himself. Yes, he finally makes his long-awaited return. And I was like, where has this guy been? Like, and even my mom was like, yeah, like he's probably been waiting for this time to show up on TV. And when this is probably the time he finally gets the opportunity to show out and finally reform to be on TV. I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, the reform DIY, like, because according to BWE, he also mentioned this about this is going to be the case about when Johnny Gargano makes his return. He's gonna reform his NXT tag team with the Blackhearted Ciampa, and then reform the DIY duo, and then probably gonna be in the program with the former NXT tag team champions Imperium's Kaiser and Vinci. And he started hitting super kicks for days to both Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, and he closed on. Well, first he did the springboard spear right onto Giovanni Vinci, I believe. No, it was Ludwig Kaiser. He does that. He tried to go for a clothesline. He dodged it. He hit Giovanni Vinci with the right hands repeatedly 10 times in a row. He super kicks Ludwig Kaiser out of the ring off the apron. This is where he ducks. He hits a super kick right on the Giovanni Vinci. This is where he gets ready to hit the double combo super kick knee strike, exposed knee strike super kick combo right onto Giovanni Vinci. Before they have a chance to show it on screen, they went off the air off of USA on the USA Network. I was like, what the hell? Like, why would they cut them off right before they were getting ready to do the double team maneuver? But I believe they have the exclusive clip right. They have the exclusive clip. You can see it exclusively from the fans, whoever was recording the super kick knee strike double combo maneuver. But yeah, that was an odd way to end it. Like they should have gave him enough a couple of seconds to do the maneuver, then end it and then cut him off the air. But I'm happy to see that we see the return of Johnny Gargano. Even though it's like a 5 month, I'll say like a 5 months of absence of not seeing him of all spring and summer long, and now we see him this coming fall, making his return and teaming with Tommaso Ciampa to be in his programming. In the meantime, until Tommaso Ciampa probably get a chance of being IC champ, or even Johnny Gargano get an opportunity, they could do a triple threat match, making this some kind of a mixed relationship with Gargano and Ciampa. But in the meantime, I'm glad to see him reform as a tag team, especially on the main roster on Monday Night Raw. And I would give tonight's Monday Night Raw, I'll say it wasn't the most exciting, but the most entertaining, though, I would say. But it still was very entertaining to watch and still hilarious to watch with the moments with the Judgment Day and Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre and all the others, with three of the most goofiest wrestling of the night. And on the night, but I would say I would give it 3.5 stars out of 5. How y'all would rate tonight's Monday Night Raw? And I hope it's not too. Hope I'm not being the negative Nancy here. This is my opinion. It was like any typical Raw, but it was very decent to watch. It was something that you would want to watch for the next 3 hours, or even 3 hours, or how many minutes? 90 minutes. It's for the next 90 minutes of your time of watching the Red Brand. And for those who's watching, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's Raw as much as I did. And how y'all rate tonight's Raw? If y'all were me, and if y'all had y'all's own personal podcast of y'all's own on YouTube, y'all let me know down in the comments below. And I hope y'all liked this video. And if you did, make sure you give me a huge thumbs up. And comment down below what y'all's thoughts about this video in general. And make sure to subscribe and click the bell notification bell for daily wrestling videos. And so you can be notified whenever I'm uploading a news video or a wrestling review video from WWE or AEW. And yeah, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 56th episode of the latest edition of the SNA podcast, which was the review of the Part 8 review of Monday Night Raw. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when I'm making my 57th episode of the SNA podcast, which is we're going to talk about the latest edition of NXT, which which the number one match that's been announced was the rematch of the NXT North American Champion with Trick Williams taking on Dominic Mysterio, which I think Trick Williams has something up his sleeve, and he's gonna use it as his advantage to retain his NXT North American Champion. Who you think is gonna win? Y'all, let me know y'all's opinions about that down in the comment section down below. And I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was my nephew Atreyu entertaining with his life supply collections, his lifetime supply of his balloon collection, I should say, is inflatable, I should say. His lifetime supply of his inflatable balloon collection from his birthday that he had, and I wish y'all, and which was 2 months ago, his birthday. He just turned 3 years old, and I hope you were more entertained about my nephew Atreyu here. Make sure you comment below on how adorable he is, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Super Ninja Austin, the Assassin, out. Bye-bye, everybody.
You done?
Yep, SNA done. So he can start playing balloons with you. Okay, let's end this video.